tout le monde. I'm going to start the application. Then I'm going to double check that Twitch is running, and then we'll be doing some streaming. I think I'll have a short session today. The baby is still with my partner outside. I think I'll have to stop when they come back. That's going to be in a few minutes. Let's see, am I live? Oh, I have to. Let's see, what's the status? Can I hear myself? Yes, looks like it. I do not hear myself. I'm gonna have to raise that a little bit. Up. I need OBS, some more. How is that now? Okay, that should be fine. Okay, let's go. I can hear myself. All right, so still building our Pokemon memory game. I was planning to do this yesterday night, but I felt just a little too tired. That wasn't entertaining for anyone, including myself, so I decided to stop, but we're gonna do it tonight. The plan today is double. The first thing is right now we have our long list of Pokemons, but I would like to have that back as a grid because that looks better. That's also how you expect a memory game to be. And the second thing is I want to be able to click on those Pokemons, and I want to be able to hopefully show either the back of the card or the Pokemon. So I want to be able to flip the cards basically. We won't go into the logic of 2 cards flipped, are they the same or not. We'll just keep it to flipping for now. And I think that's the first thing we're gonna actually do. For starters, well, we know that, yeah, I've seen that yesterday. Maybe I should reproduce the bug first, and it's easier for you to understand as well. The first thing we want to do is, well, we want those images to be clickable. So I'm going to check into Elm UI for buttons. I'm going to make a button for every single image. So I know that elm.inputs.button, and I think afterwards it's going to be just like for everything else, going to be this. So that means we're going to have something to happen on press, and I'm going to use a maybe nothing for now just to fill it in quickly, and then we're going to have a label. The label can be an element message, and that's where I'm probably going to try to use my image as a label. Let's see, that's up. I'm going to save this. There you go. What is it complaining about? Oh, it's not Elm, of course, it's element.input.button. All right. And now all of our Pokemons are clickable. Okay, but nothing happens when we click. So that's what we're gonna want to change. We're gonna create a new message. This message is gonna be fired up every time that one of the cards is clicked. That's gonna be Pokemon card clicked, and it's gonna take an integer being the ID of the card being clicked. I'm gonna save that, which is gonna fail here because I'm not handling that message, and I'll have to. So I'll do that. Up. So Pokemon card clicked. And then we need the card ID. Okay, we're not gonna do anything. About it, yes. And now that we have this, we need to fire our event, and we know that it's a maybe message, so we're gonna have to make a just message, and we're gonna fill that with the Pokemon card clicked, and we need the ID of the card, which is gonna be the same as below here. So that means card.id. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm expecting is that if I click on history like this, and I click on elements, I'm gonna see elements fired. See, there you go, exactly. So I'm getting those items, those messages being fired with the ID of the Pokemon. So if I click several times on the Pokemon, I'm getting the same ID, which is exactly what I want. So that would mean that I would have to flip the Pokemon number 2. Now, that is a problem because we are using Pokemon IDs as IDs right now. So if I'm clicking on this one, it's 2, but this one is also 2. Same for the same reason this one and this one are 1. So that's not going to work, that's a bug. So we need to not use Pokemon IDs, we need to use the card ID. So the first thing we're going to do here is rename that, because that's a bad name. We need to call that Pokemon ID. Alright, so that was easy. Well, the second thing we want is now cards also have their own ID. And that's going to cause a little more trouble. Exactly. So now when we're creating our list of cards, well, it's creating just a bunch of ID, Pokemon ID, and state. We need to create the ID as well now. So we have to change our lizard map so that we not only create Pokemon IDs and state, but we also want to have ID. So that would be something like, I could get that working by doing this. But we're not solving any problem though. Oh, and I also want to not use card.PokemonID here. I want to use card.id as a file element. I do want to keep Pokemon ID though for the Pokemon's image. Okay, well, that's helpful. We're further, but not enough because of course all IDs are 1 now. So I'm gonna have to fix that. And that's where I stopped my stream yesterday because I was failing to see easily how to do that. But of course, now that I've slept a little bit, well, we're gonna look into list, the documentation, and if we look at map, well, the next thing that comes is index map, which gives us the index of the elements in the list together with the element itself. Well, that's very useful because that's exactly what we want. So instead of map, we're going to call it indexed map. That's going to fail. The reason is, well, that the prototype of the anonymous function that we're going to have to use is different. We have an extra integers now as an input. So we're going to have, we're going to call that index. And we're going to have the Pokemon ID as well. And here, well, when we create our card, we can create we can use index as an ID. Let's see. Something went wrong. Ta-da. Okay. Okay, so our anonymous function has 2 inputs, and then out of those 2 inputs, we're just creating our cards. And as we was doing with the map, we are feeding or mapping our list of Pokemon IDs to their response to their card, their state as card list. So now, if I look at this, I should have, I'm expecting something like 0 here, 1, 2, etc. So all cards have their own ID, which is exactly what we want. So now that we have that, we can use this event up there. So every time that, that's a bit lower, sorry for that. Every time that Pokemon card clicked is fired, then we basically need to change, we're gonna keep the model in place, except for, what is the name of the element that we're using? It is going to be grid ready Pokemon list. Except for the grid ready Pokemon list, which is going to be the same except for the card that we clicked on, which has to be flipped. So it's getting a little complex, so I'm going to create a function for that. So I want to flip card with ID. I want to use the card ID that I've gotten from up there, and I'm going to feed the grid ready Pokemon list as a second input. And now we can create a function. And what we want is we're going to take this naming. It's going to take an integer as an input, and it's going to take a list of card as an input, and it's going to return a list of card and card ID, cards. Okay, and now what I want to do is the simplest way I can think of is I can map, I guess. So I could do a cards. I don't know how to replace. That's why this channel is called Learn With Me. This.map, we're gonna go through cards, and here we're gonna create an anonymous function. And for each card, we're gonna check if c.id is the same as card ID. And it's probably what I'm going to call a ternary operator, which is going to be something else, because I know Elm doesn't have ternary operators. But I'm going to do a if else, pretty much. We'll refactor that later. I'll search a better way to do that for the next time. This is model dot. Because really Pokemon is not known. Ternary. Can I use? No, I don't want Elm ternary. I just want Elm syntax. I'm gonna do a simple if else. Ah, come on! I don't want to go in the packages. Give me a Google. Wow, there you go. I'm gonna do it like that today. So I'm gonna do it like if the current card has the same ID as the card ID, then we're gonna replace. We're gonna do. We're gonna take C and we're gonna replace C dot state. Oh, I don't want to. Okay, right now I'm going to use hidden here, but so this state has to be flipped, but I don't have an easy way to flip states right now because it's not a boolean. I can't just do opposite of the boolean. So I'm going to create a function to flip that. Else just return C. Okay. And I want state, not c.state. We are compiling. The last thing I want is flip state. And it's going to take a state as an input and return a state. And right now I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do if my state is state is visible, then hidden, else visible. I'm really unhappy about this code, but I see that as a good thing because I can do it better, much better next time. Okay, so now that we can flip our state, we cannot find a state type. It's card state, sorry for that. We need a card state, not a state. Voila. And now we can flip state of c.state of, yes, in this case it is c.state. Okay. Well, so now what we can check is whether it's working or not. And we can check that by looking at our grid and clicking on one item. And we see now that the state is hidden, which is exactly what we want. That's perfect. The last thing we need to do is actually flip, literally flip the card. I downloaded a Pokeball PNG file here, image. So what I'm thinking is, well, here we can do if card.state is visible, then else simply use the Pokeball. And the Pokeball is going to be the Pokeball.png. There you go. So now we can flip cards. That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Okay, we're gonna make a small commit. We can flip cards. I'm sure, I am 100% sure that there are better ways to do that, and the flipping as well. I could fix that now by replacing that with a boolean. I'm wondering if it's a good idea. Yeah, are we gonna have a third state ever? Probably not. We could replace that to a boolean. That would simplify a little bit. But the thing I'm not happy about is more this if then. There must be a way to apply a function a better way. There must be a better way. I'll look into it. Okay. The second thing we want to do is we want to get our. Oh, I have to check something. I want to check something. If I flip things like this, and I shuffle the list. Okay, if I shuffle, it restarts the game, which is exactly what I was expecting. So that's good news. Well, now let's get our. We're gonna work on getting our grid back. I'm considering whether I can create a function here that's called generate card or something that would reduce a little bit the clutter. We can probably do that next time. Okay, so right now I have a single row. This single row is going to be, well, basically created out of inputs, each element. So if I look in there, well, I usually don't because the code generated by Elmio is not really made to be read like this. But we could go in there. We see that we have our row here, and then we have a bunch of elements. Now, what I want is a bunch of rows, not a single row, or a bunch of columns in this case, one of those. The way I can do that is, remember, if you've seen all the streams, we used to work with two indexes, so x and y's. Now we have a single list. So it's not as easy to do x and y's. And I also said that I didn't want to work with ratios and remainders. So I looked into the doc a little bit, got help from Nicola actually, and then I looked into Elm list extra, which is always very helpful. Extra. And list extra, I found something pretty interesting in there. Or is it list or list extra actually? Let's see. We're gonna go find it quickly. Oh, I have to remember the name. But what I want is, so out of a list, I want to generate a list of lists, right? So I was searching for something that would return a list of lists. And I'm gonna find that. There was something, come on. Why can I not find it anymore? It is not the sorting, it is not the tail. It was not the partition. Da-da-da-da. Okay, that's the kind of construction I want. It's not permutations, it is not subsequence. Not tails. Groups of, that sounds like it. Groups of, split lists into groups of length. If there are not enough elements to completely fill the last group, it will not be included. This is equivalent to calling groups of with step with the same size. That sounds great. That sounds like exactly what I want. So I'm getting a map. Okay, I have a list as an output here. So if I do list dot groups of 4, then I should have a list of lists of 4, and then I can do a list concat, which is going to make me avoid the horrible compilation errors. Let's see if that works. Am I using list extra already? Groups of. So I need to install list extra. Install. What's the name of the package? It's probably Elm Community, isn't it? Yes. So that would be Elm Community list extra. Like this. Okay, let's add it. And let's start. Always takes a while to start when I'm streaming. It should just be giving us the same result. Still not. Cannot find groups of. Do I have to import list extra? How do I do that? List dot extra. Exposing groups of. And then I remove those. Oh, we're getting a list of A, but we want. Okay, we're sending a single message into groups, which is not what I wanted, what I intended to do at all. List map. Let's see. What did I do? Here we have an array of elements. Here we have a single element. Yes. Okay, I put that inside the anonymous function. That's not what I intended to do. Still not. We're missing a symbol. A comment cannot work. Alright, now we're compiling. Back in business. I love Elm. Did I say that already? Okay, so we are having exactly the same result, right? Because we are partitioning into groups of 4 and then concatenating back. But now that we have this here, that's where the magic can happen. That's where we could create our, let's see. At this location here, we have a list of lists. I don't know how to work with that. We should be able to do something with it now. Let's see. Yeah, I have a list of lists. If I do list.map, I'm gonna take each of the lists that I get as part of my list, so each of my sublists, and I'm gonna, for each of those sublists, I'm gonna encapsulate it into an element dot column with an empty list of attributes, and I'm gonna feed it to the column. Oh my god, I'm actually surprised it works. Okay, that's awesome. That went so fast. How long in the stream are we? I don't know. Okay, I hope you understand that. I can repeat it again. So we have a list of 16 elements in this case, but we have a list of elements. This list of elements, we partition into a group of 4. That gives us a list of lists. I'm going through the list of lists, and for each list, which is here, I'm gonna wrap it into a column. Sub list. I'm gonna call that sub list to be a bit more explicit. That's amazing. Okay. Well, that's great. I'm gonna do one more thing. Let's do, okay, let's commit, and then I will so our grid is back. There you go. The last thing I'm gonna do is for now, I'm gonna search for the creation. So when we create our list, I want the state by default to be hidden now. That's much better. There you go. Haha. We can almost play memory. Do you see that coming? We're gonna, let's see, we're gonna do some more stuff. We're gonna do our model. We're gonna have some points coming very soon. We're gonna have I'm thinking if we want to make it 2 players directly or not. I'm gonna make it 1 player for now. But do we want the points? Then we don't care about points, do we? Okay, we shouldn't need 1. What else? Well, I need to think hard about how to compare the pairs that are visible together. I don't know how to do that just yet. We also will need some kind of filler in case the images are not there. So if you find a pair, you will need an element to put in there to fill the column. And the other thing that I want is also take care of this ugly if then. The let in that is here, we could actually remove right now. So we could feed it like this. So our model like this, and then we can remove the let in. Okay. And I'm gonna check if we can find an answer really quickly on Google. Then I'll probably use remove those ifs and else. If I can't find something, list map if else. So I wanna list map if match I don't know. It's probably gonna be some kind of match in there. Okay, that's find, but I don't want find. I don't care about find. That's list. Okay, list. We're probably gonna stop there. I think I'm gonna have to look into it. Yeah, there's no match. Okay. Apply if match maybe. Let's see. Okay, I know about pattern matching, but I don't really care about that. I want that in the list. Ah. No, that's not what I want. I want to list through each element, but I don't want to reduce either. Okay, let's stop it there for tonight. That was faster than expected, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Well, we're getting there, right? We have something that is interactive now. We can click. We have a grid, which is also great. The next step is probably to maybe refactor a little bit because it's gonna get complex. I don't really like that we start chaining so much. I would like to be a bit cleaner, and I'm getting very long lines. That's also why I'm. So those lines are not the best. So I'm gonna try to make them a little better for next time. Find patterns to improve them, and then we're gonna have to start matching. All right. Well, I'm not sure I'm streaming tomorrow, so see you next time. And thanks for watching. Au revoir.